Hey everybody, welcome back to today's edition of NDD, and I begin today's show following up the great news we received yesterday concerning the 2027 class, though news that when it broke, I don't think it was all that surprising. Teddy Gerard, 6'3", 195-pound, four-star quarterback from North Cobb High in Georgia, gave his verbal to Marcus Freeman and the Irish on Thursday. And while schools like Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and the home state Georgia Bulldogs were all in the mix throughout the process to some degree, particularly Georgia, for the past few weeks and months, I think most, including myself, felt like Gerard would commit to the Dome. That's ultimately what happened. And if you didn't check out yesterday's video, obviously do that. But in the comments section, if you didn't see that as well, I put a link to just what was an incredible commitment video Teddy Gerard put out across socials on his X account that really just encapsulated the moment from top to bottom, past to present. It just really grabbed you and shows how much this kid really is looking forward to continuing his football career in 2027 and beyond at the University of Notre Dame. And for me, just my 2 cents on this, Gerard is a tremendous fit, a pro-style quarterback with a tall, athletic frame. That makes for a higher release point. The All-State first-teamer has all the tools to play well on the high Division I level. I think that's a fact. Incredible arm strength, supported by the consistency with which he stands tall in that pocket. That allows you, as a quarterback, to hit those plays downfield. He's also incredibly accurate, having completed over 70% of his passes to go along with 3,000 yards plus and 30 touchdowns in his freshman and sophomore seasons each. So that ability to limit the mistakes, single-digit interceptions the past couple of years as well, while being able to create plays, big chunk yardage, is a huge deal. And when I watch his film, one of the things that is also very impressive is that he's very rhythmic. He's fluent in the pocket with the way he moves the ball down the field, can go laterally on the move if he needs to. What does that tell you? Kid's got poise even at this age, which is a top-notch skill to have. It's no surprise that he was viewed as one of the top signal callers, still is, in the 27 class, and I really believe he's a tremendous fit for the Irish. And, oh, by the way, you talk about the 25, 6, and 7 recruiting classes. This is another huge recruiting win for Marcus Freeman and company, as their level of going out there to get prominent high school players has just been unprecedented. And I don't mean to, growing up, that wasn't the case, right? Cold weather school, the area around South Bend isn't what it is now with the Eddie Commons and whatnot and the draw to coming to Notre Dame. It was the cold weather school. Granted, they had the dome, touchdown Jesus, the titles, Lou Holtz. I get it all, and I'm not dismissive of how good those programs were back in the day. I mean, even so, at 39 years old, going on 40 in February, my favorite football player across any sport is still Ron Powlus. So I am indebted as a Notre Dame fan in becoming a Notre Dame fanatic because of what I saw late 80s into the early 90s. But we have not seen the level of recruiting that we've seen under Marcus Freeman. And yes, it's the fact that he's an exceptional football coach, but the relatability there from coach/teacher to player to student athlete is really just at a different level. He embraces all aspects of it, and guys want to come and play for a coach like Marcus Freeman. You've got the academics at Notre Dame as well that will always be there, that will always be the way they stake their claim. But to come play football for a guy like Marcus Freeman, he's made it a draw. He's made it a bigger attraction than it already was. And we're starting to see that more and more in recruiting. It's a huge deal. And this is a huge win, getting Teddy Gerard to verbally commit out of the 27 class at the QB position. Big stuff. Continuing our freshman profiles, I want to talk about another guy from the state of New Jersey who was actually a teammate of yesterday's profile player, Elijah Burris, and that is 5'10", 215-pound running back Nolan James Jr. out of DePaul Catholic, and he's originally from Westwood, New Jersey. Again, paired up with Burris at the Wayne School, a 4-star running back who was rated as the 6th overall player in New Jersey and 12th nationally at the RB position in his 2025 class. And again, as we've seen with some guys, James was originally committed to Boston College, but flipped that decision to Notre Dame in November of last year. Team captain at DePaul, 2024 New Jersey State champion, first team all-conference, county, and all-state that same year, and perhaps more importantly, and it is more important, honor roll kid. On the gridiron, over nearly 6,000 yards, 45 TDs during his high school career. His senior year, he just went nuts. Nearly 2,000 yards rushing and 22 total touchdowns in that final go-round with DePaul Catholic, who I said yesterday is known for pumping out college players. We've seen it across. I don't live too far from Wayne, New Jersey, here in New York City. I've covered a lot of their games. They know what they're doing over at DePaul Catholic. They're a staple in New Jersey. You talk about high-level New Jersey football, Don Bosco, Bergen. DePaul is right up, at least to me. Pope John, DePaul is right up there as well in the state of New Jersey, and they have a nice little pipeline lately with the University of Notre Dame. So as we know, I'm not saying anything that the Notre Dame loyalists don't know. Now, James joins an extremely deep, probably the deepest and the best running back room in America coming into the season, but he now will join that crowded room. So all the talent in the world, but there's a crowd, and that's a good thing. This is a kid who possesses incredible big playability. He's got a physical running style, great vision from the backfield, and he's tough, and he's got that gritty athleticism. You see it on tape. He's an ideal fit in the Notre Dame system under Mike Denbrock and Juwan Sider. And we've seen what Juwan Sider's been able to do with running backs during his time. Nick Singleton stands out at Penn State. Now he's on board here in South Bend, and he's got a lot of toys to play with. And James is going to be a big part of the future. You talk about watching his tape, the kid's quick footwork really pops on film. So that's why the Irish view him, it's one of the reasons I should say, the Irish view him as a big piece in major seasons. And while he could find himself getting some touches this season, especially it being an early enrollee and putting himself in order to have a really, really strong effort during the April Blue Gold game. His most likely path this season is going to come on special teams. So when you look at the current running back room, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price lead the way. We know that. And Aeneas Williams is a top-flight complement that other teams around the country simply do not have. And he adds with his all-around skill set, not to mention you got Kedron Young, who's going to supply his own brand of power out of the backfield. Jabron Payne, back from injury, can also give you some much-needed moving the chains on third down. And Payne looked good at his own right in the spring game, 34 yards on 9 touches, 2 catches for another 32. So the depth is beyond there in this Notre Dame backfield. But as far as James is concerned, he proved in high school that he's beyond sound as both a runner and a pass catcher, and we saw that in the spring game. 3 catches for 60 yards, a long of 37, 62 yards after the catch. Led all Irish receivers in both catches and yards on the day, and he carried the ball 3 times for 16 yards. So overall, the skill set is undeniable there for James, which is why he was coveted across the country coming out of DePaul Catholic. And while the most likely path to time on the field this season is on special teams, his abilities out of the backfield make him an incredible option for Notre Dame moving forward, be it touches this year, but definitely beyond when you talk about Jeremiah Love going to the NFL and then Jadarian Price probably following suit as well. You talk about having Aeneas Williams, Kedron Young. You got the guys coming in that 26 class, Javian Osborne, one that we talked about yesterday as well. And then you talk about a Nolan James Jr. The depth in this room, not just this year, folks, but even moving forward, and that's why recruiting is so important and why it's been so impressive what Marcus Freeman and his staff have been able to do. You got guys that are coming in who say, all right, he's a 4-star. He's just going to rot there. Not the case at all. They're going to develop these guys. They're going to have roles for them, scout team, practice squad, special teams, whatever it might be. And then you talk about what the future holds, because your stars aren't around forever. No team has that, right? 3-4 years, sometimes sooner, you're done, you're on to greener pastures, and especially now in the age of the portal, you better have depth. Notre Dame's got it, and the future at the running back position looks about as bright as you possibly could be. James Jr. going to be a big part of that. I just want to wrap today. We all love Marcus Freeman, the job he's done here, both as a person and a coach. Coming off a 14-2 season, birthed in a national title game. He remains in the national spotlight here, even a week after Notre Dame got back from a brief media tour across New York City. 2024 Bear Bryant Coach of the Year winner, Dodd Trophy recipient, and winner of numerous other awards last year. Freeman now enters year 4. and he receives another impressive nod. Selected to the Indianapolis Business Journal's Indiana 250, Coach Freeman remains one of the most influential figures in the sport. This IBJ recognition highlights 250 of the most influential and impactful leaders across the state of Indiana, and oddly enough is now in its fourth year. And we know how active Coach Freeman has been in both the Notre Dame and South Bend communities. That's a big deal. He's beyond deserving of this spotlight. Major player in various charities, one who speaks at different events. He epitomizes what it means to be a leader from both a career and humanitarian perspective. That's what this nod is all about. You talk about some of the other notable figures from sports from the state that are on the list. Of course, electrifying Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton was on there, and Indiana Fever megastar Caitlin Clark was as well. Now you've got Freeman and the Irish. Of course, they prepare for fall camp, which is going to segue right into August 31st, 6 weeks away. Season opener, Coral Gables against the Miami Hurricanes. But right now, hope Coach Freeman is enjoying this little tip of the cap by the state of the Indiana, and we congratulate here as well at Notre Dame Daily and Fan Arch. That'll put a bow on everything for the week. I hope you have an awesome weekend. It was another sound week of recruiting for Notre Dame. We'll get some more news as we roll into Monday. Enjoy it. Stay safe. I'll talk to you next week. And as always, go Irish.